For one final time in 2019, welcome to our Formula 1 2019 driver reviews. And yes, it's all been totally random so far, but I did save a special little treat for Christmas Eve. Happy Christmas Eve, everybody. But today, we are talking about Romain Grosjean, a year where a lot of people have put him at the bottom of their lists, perhaps one of the worst drivers of the season. I've seen many people talking about, many people saying that he's so lucky to keep his seat for next year. I wouldn't disagree with that, but what I would say is that actually, I don't think this season has been that bad, and I think a lot of people, as much as it's fun to get behind the meme, and I love a good Formula 1 meme, don't we all, I think it's been better. And I'm going to attempt, just like I did in the summer break, I'm going to attempt to try and change your opinion, but with logic. You know, I'm not going to be stupid here. I'm not going to say it's all been fantastic and he's been the driver of the season, because he definitely hasn't. But the car itself's been awful. Reliability, especially on Romain's side of the garage, has been atrocious, and I can understand why they've kept him for 2020. Definitely there's options out there which would have made sense. The Hulkenberg one in particular. I think that consistency, as well as a bit of fresh air within the team, I think would have done quite well. But don't get me wrong, Romain's a great driver on his day, but we all know he does have a crash in him occasionally. So I think that's my overall overarching theme in this video. We'll look at some statistics in a moment, but just to start, it hasn't been as bad as a lot of people are saying. And once you actually look at things in a little bit more detail, I hope you'll see where I'm coming from. Anyway, let's look at some statistics and then we'll get into the fun bits. So, quali battle, race battle, both in favour of Kevin Magnussen. 13-8 in quali, 12-8 in the race. Points, quite fun that they're both their driver numbers. 20 to K-Mag, 8 to Grosjean. Championship position, P16 for K-Mag and P18 for Grosjean. Blimey, the team that came into the year hoping to get 4th, hopefully in the standings, finishing 9th, only in front of Williams. Yeah, a real struggle for the team this year. No wins, no poles, no podiums. Not a surprise, but 8 points for Romain Grosjean, 18th in the standings. Best quali, and this is what's so strange about the Haas drivers this year, best quali is a P6 in Melbourne. He also got a P6 in that crazy German Grand Prix. He had a really good quali on that particular day, comfortably beat K-Mag, and in the race finished P7, but that was one of only 3-point finishes for the season for Romain Grosjean. So I can understand, with only scoring 8 points, 3 points finishes, 7 retirements, that looks god-awful. That looks so bad. I totally understand that. However, looking a little bit closer, a little bit more in depth, 4 of those retirements were reliability. That is crazy. 4 retirements, that's the most on the grid by quite a margin as well. The other 3 incidents, the first one, Bahrain, where Lance Stroll went into the back of Romain Grosjean on the opening lap. The second one was with his teammate in Silverstone. Sadly, I actually watched that. I was there. And yes, that still haunts my dreams now. But Silverstone, first lap contact with his teammate. And also Russia, where he qualified so well in the top 10 in a Haas. First lap was fine. Couple of corners in, Ricciardo and Giovinazzi were having a bit of a scrap up the inside and went into the side of Grosjean, out of the race on a day where Haas actually scored points with K-Mag and probably would have been a nice haul of points with Grosjean. I think what makes it worse is that in a lot of the instances where he did end up retiring through mechanical failures, he could have scored big points, the big one being Australia. That very first race of the season, P6 in quali, up in P5 and P6 in the race, and his tyres fell off. What a huge haul of points that could have been, and how very differently just that one race in the season could have made his entire championship season look different just through the points he scored. Races in Spain. Qualified 7th, was 7th for the entire Grand Prix, a late safety car, and the fact that the Haas car was awful in warming up his tyres. Dropped back through the field, finished P10, 1 point when it very easily could have been 5 or 6 points. Look at Brazil. Brazil, he was P7 for the entire Grand Prix. We had that late safety car late on, and he had an MGUK failure. No points at all. Singapore, he was having a really strong Grand Prix. And actually, Formula 1, I've put out a few highlights, and I thought, blimey, he made contact with George Russell. I should mention that. That did happen. But apart from that, we was having a really good race and finished P11 just outside the points. And actually, the meme with Grosjean is he's a crash master, and he definitely is that. But there hasn't really been that many this year. But I think what makes it worse is that when there has been crashes, Silverstone practice in the pit lane, it's not brilliant. It's not great. He also crashed in practice in the USA. Quite a heavy impact, that one. Valtteri Bottas went into the side of him in Abu Dhabi, the final race in practice. So there's been lots of crashes. But in the race, there's definitely not been as many in the past. Kevin Magnussen, I don't want to throw Kevin under the bus too much in this video, but he crashed twice in practice, or in qualifying even, this season. Once in Canada, and also once in Japan. And that Japanese one is where Grosjean got into the top 10. So, hopefully I've done my job. Hopefully I've got across that it's not been as bad as many people make out to be. Of course, 8 points isn't good enough. He's been kept on because a lot of the issues with the team has not been the driver, it's been the car. Out of 10, I'm going to give Romain Grosjean a 6. The same as Kevin Magnussen, the same as Sebastian Vettel. I can't give him many more because it's only 8 points, only 3 points finishes, but I feel, you know, can we cut him a bit of slack this Christmas? Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, our final one of the 2019 driver reviews. Tomorrow, the big day, the big Christmas day, there will be a weekly mailbox, a special Christmas episode, so hopefully you'll look forward to that. Then there'll be a bit of a break for a few days, and then jumping into 2020 with a new twist on the channel. I'm hoping for. Anyway, if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Don't worry, not all my opinions are as crazy as being a Romain Grosjean fan. But if you have enjoyed, feel free to whack a like on the video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good Christmas, everyone, and I hope to see you in the next one.